Tonight, should religious schools be allowed to ban gay students from enrolling?
It might be 46 years since she won gold, but Survivor winner Shane Gould has proven you can't keep a true champ down.
We'll bring you the best of the best and the worst of the worst from this year's American Music Awards.
Plus, lead singer of Mumford & Sons, Marcus Mumford, joins us live at the desk. This is The Project.
Tonight, I don't know whose call this is, Tommy is in the hosting chair.
It's great to have you on the same, working together, but we should apologise to Narelda. Usually you'd have Waleed here, he's a professional. I don't know what's going to happen tonight. You're on debut. I apologise for Tommy in advance.
I don't know how many people called in sick. I feel like I've Stephen Bradbury'd it.
I just thought it was because the desk wasn't big enough for two minorities.
That may have been the case, who knows?
Wow, you started strong, mate.
Out of the gates!
All right, time to see what's making news this Wednesday, the 10th of October. And a dramatic end to a New South Wales-wide manhunt following a violent home invasion, arson attack and kidnapping in central west New South Wales yesterday. 3 men have been arrested, 2 have been charged with a string of offences. Their alleged hostages are unharmed. A 68-year-old man who'd been left for dead is recovering in hospital. Boxer Lauren Eagle is now subject to a 12-month community corrections order after being convicted of drink driving. She was also fined $500 for refusing a breath test when she was pulled over in Bondi in August. A Sydney court heard it took 5 police to arrest her. She's lost her licence for a year. And if you think your mum's embarrassing on social media, spare a thought for this American guy. Peter Hansen's gone viral after his mum posted this photo of him claiming he could no longer go on solo dates because of the Me Too movement. She pointed to false sexual accusations by radical feminists with an axe to grind as the reason he can't be alone on dates.
This is the beginning of the Mum Too hashtag.
He's come back out today. He's said he's in full support of the Me Too movement.
I thought solo dates is what you did when you couldn't get a date.
Is your mum embarrassing or is she pretty cool?
I think we've all got embarrassing parent stories, but no one, they don't put it online and it goes viral and then you get very embarrassed.
Well, my parents will be ahead of the curve, to be honest, Narelda, because my mum, check out what my mum put up on the community notice board when I was little. This is... Hey, everyone knows Wednesday rhymes with Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
So it's time for...
My old Wednesday.
They're excited.
Yeah.
They're particularly excited
They
tonight.
should be.
And sometimes when you're in the Mediterranean, you've had a few oozos and there are no Ubers, how do you get home? Well, you catch the local donkey. That's... The police is just walking after him. And this one has been kicking around for a couple of weeks, but my NBN's been playing up. Australia feel like chicken tonight? Here's some labourers who'll just lay the concrete and the chicken. It's just... Come on, they got to get it off. Here he goes. This bloke's going to handle it. Here he goes. Use your broom. Use the broom, mate. In chicken, it actually says "Chook was here." That's what it says. That was Viral Wednesday.
All right, the beautiful, the brilliant, the truly bizarre. No, I'm not talking about my fellow project hosts. It's the AMAs, and I've got all the best bits from today's awards coming at you.
Cardi B. She just had a baby 3 months ago.
She's given me some ideas for my post-baby movies.
I've got to apologise. I don't know if you heard me then. When she did that, I went, whoa! Because she was bragging. It's like, that's just where the baby came from.
Good on her.
We're going to go to a break. More project coming up very soon.
Coming up, could Ivanka Trump take on the role of US ambassador to the UN? And which brown bear took the crown in Alaska's annual Fat Bear Week competition? You're watching The Project.
Welcome back. You're watching The Project.
Health Minister Greg Hunt has apologised to Australian women whose lives have been ruined by pelvic mesh implants. The government's also moving to support almost all the recommendations made by a Senate inquiry into the medical scandal. And Liam Neeson has gushed about his friendship with a horse. Neeson says he recognised his old co-star on the set of his latest flick. He's sure the horse knew him because of the way it whinnied and pawed the ground. Russell Crowe's backed him up. He says he's lifelong pals with a horse called Rusty from Robin Hood and Les Mis.
I've got to say, Liam Neeson is friends. He stays friends with everybody. He's still friends with the terrorists from Taken. That's how friendly he is.
Do you think this is a case of someone just being too famous for people to say no to him? so he's like, hey, that's the same horse. And they all go, yeah, sure. Yeah, bro, that's the same horse. Bang on, mate.
But yeah, he is very close with that particular horse. In fact,
Really?
they caught up last night for drinks. I think we have them. They Had a great time.
It's time to see what's making news around the globe. Residents are preparing for the worst as Hurricane Michael bears down on Florida. Now a Category 4 storm, it's expected to deliver winds of up to 190 k's per hour, as well as storm surges up to 4 metres high as it makes landfall tonight. Officials have warned this storm is likely to be the most destructive to hit the state in decades. And these bears are bringing a whole new meaning to the term winter bod. A national park in Alaska has launched a social media initiative, Find Its Most Fabulous Bear. Mama Bear, with the catchy name of 409 Bead Nose, has bulked up better than her furry peers to be crowned this year's Thick Queen.
Are we seriously fat-shaming bears now? Is this what it's come to?
No, we're celebrating.
We
It's a
are
celebration, is it?
Yeah.
They're preparing for hibernation, so they've got to bulk up to be able to survive.
It's like a dad bod, but it's covered in fur.
Which
You can
most
get
dad
those
pods
dad
are.
Plenty more other projects still to come. Stay there.
Coming up, she was named Best Sportswoman in the World in 1971, won 3 Olympic gold medals and was named Australian of the Year in 1972. Then, in 2018, this.
Winner of Australian Survivor, champions versus contenders, Shane.
True Aussie champion Shane Gould joins us live in the studio. You're watching The Project.
Hey, it's Ada's birthday, and our present is secret info about what's coming up to share with you all.
Still to come, new Bachelorette Ali and Marcus Mumford live.
Happy birthday!
You're watching The Project.
If you have just joined us, here's what's making news this Wednesday, the 10th of October. And education is shaping up to be a hot election issue, with Labor promising to spend an additional $14 billion over 10 years on state schools if it wins government. Bill Shorten says the extra cash will mean more student choices and 13,000 new teaching jobs. But the PM says it only means higher taxes. And PM Scott Morrison is clearly familiar with the old saying, it's midday somewhere. During a brewery tour on the New South Wales Central Coast, he looked pretty comfy behind the bar as he poured himself a schooner, all before 9 a.m.
I like the old days when our Prime Ministers used to eat onions. That was, just keep it simple.
I think this could become a phrase. Like a schooner's a beer. A ScoMo's a beer at brekkie.
A beer break.
ScoMo.
Yeah.
Have a ScoMo
Like, do you
and
want to have a
eggs.
ScoMo before we have a schooner? Because if you're hungover, a ScoMo is great.
We saw some of the audience then go, ooh, but the thing about that is you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, if he hadn't have drunk that, he would have been the PM won't even drink it.
Yeah.
And if he drinks it, it's just like, oh my God, the PM's drinking before 9 a.m. Like, what can he
and
do?
I think it was a stout. A stout is as good as a meal.
Is it?
I shouldn't be
heavy.
encouraging that.
No.
Are you offended at all?
It looked like a coffee, so
That is the words of an alcoholic.
Well, he may have got to ScoMo because he obviously spoke to the media, and see if you can guess where he was today.
Chris and Ryan here, they're living the dream on the Central Coast. They are living the dream here on the Central Coast, and they're doing it by running their own business here on the Central Coast. And they're living the dream by employing 15 other fellow people here from the Central Coast. And this is what, people aspire to here on the Central Coast, to be able to live and work, play, and raise a family, all here on the Central Coast.
You don't reckon they were playing a drinking game where it goes, oi, we get to scull a beer for every time I say Central Coast?
Well, somebody needed an ambulance if that was the case.
All right, when Aussie same-sex marriage laws passed last year, Conservatives demanded an investigation into how it would affect religious freedoms. For 5 months, the government has kept the findings under wraps. Today, the inevitable leak. Well, Ardell Salman is from the Islamic Council of Victoria and he joins us now. Ardell, would you allow an openly gay student or teacher into an Islamic school?
I do believe that religious schools, Islamic schools, should have the right to teach their particular religious viewpoint to the students and to be able to uphold the values and ethos of the school. If anyone is advocating for contrary view on certain issues and direct contradiction to the faith or the religious teachings of the school, then I think the school has a right to deal with it.
Ardell, I'm a gay woman who has very strong Christian beliefs. Why can't someone who's coming out as gay still embrace a faith?
Well, I'm sure they could. It's not about discriminating against anyone, it's about faithfully adhering to the values and the ethos and the religious teachings of a particular faith.
I don't mean to stop you, but just for a second, you keep saying this is about faith, but if that faith sees homosexuality as a sin, this is about sexuality.
Well, indeed. If the school is teaching certain things, then the staff and the students are expected to uphold those values, and I think that's reasonable. That would imply that if someone was to come out openly gay at year 10, that they would be kicked out of that school, right? Openly, if by your definition of openly, you're saying that they are actually openly calling that for that, or encouraging others, or describing that as a valid alternative lifestyle that other students in the school should embrace, then I think the school should have the right to deal with that. Yeah, absolutely.
What if they're just gay? They're not doing anything other than just being gay?
Well, if they're gay, again, it comes back to the point where there will be no interrogation. It is when that person or individual student or otherwise is openly calling for that or presenting an alternative view within the school environment, that's when the problem arises.
Ardell, if one day the rules do change once and for all and you can't discriminate against students or teachers for being gay, how would you embrace it?
We're comfortable with the freedoms given to religious schools currently, and we're asking for those to be protected.
All right, Ardell, well, I'm sure we could chat about this for a lot longer, but we do need to let you go. We appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you very much.
What upsets me is that any child, teenager, young person from a fundamentalist community or family, they may not be able to talk to their parents about these sorts of things. Schools should provide an avenue, a safe place for them to go and speak to a trusted adult about it. My fear is that it will drive young people who are wanting to come out deeper into the closet, and we know all those scary statistics about self-harm and suicide and that sort of thing, and we just don't want that. So it's very upsetting to hear that, you know, this discrimination might still be running rampant.
All right, well, we will be back with more after this break. Stay with us.
Coming up, Mumford & Sons lead singer Marcus Mumford is dropping by for a chat. Plus, she was unlucky in love on The Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise, so will it be third time lucky for the newest Bachelorette, Ali? This is The Project.
Welcome back to gorgeous people. You're watching The Project.
Let's have a look at what's coming up on the Sunday Project.
He's gone from centre stage to the director's seat.
You ready?
Now Lisa's got the first Aussie take with A-list actor turned filmmaker Bradley Cooper. Hear Gaga and Coop's behind-the-scenes secrets of A Star Is Born.
But I'm not very good at keeping secrets.
Only on the Sunday Project.
Well, our next guest has taken bluegrass around the world and to the top of the charts. Would you please welcome Marcus Mumford?
Welcome, Marcus. Great to have you.
I feel like I should clarify that wasn't us in that last video.
Jason Bateman and Ed Helms. Great clip. You have a new tour and a new album called Delta.
Yeah.
I foolishly thought it was a cover of Delta Goodrem covers.
That is an awesome idea, actually.
Yeah,
Ryan Adams did Taylor Swift, so maybe we should do Delta Goodrem.
Delta Goodrem. There you go. You heard of me first on The Project. I have to say, I'm a big fan of you and your band, and you have one of the most amazing voices. And I think you can make anything sound beautiful. So I have chosen just some random words, which happen to be from the Sydney Opera House Charter, which is not in the news at all. I wonder if you could sing these words.
Oh, wow. Digital projections onto the building may not be intrusive. Advertising at any other time is most definitely intrusive.
I feel like you left a little in the tank, to be honest.
I didn't leave it all on the floor, you're right.
Would you please thank Marcus Mumford?